Very much for staying with us once again and joining us on this channel for yet another fantastic update and exclusive content we are bringing you here in this particular video. We are going to look at some 5 mistakes the Black Stars of Ghana shouldn't repeat at the African Cup of Nations 2023, which will be played in January 2024. In fact, today is 25th of November. I hope I got the date right. Good. But then there is we have 50 days until the African Cup of Nations. According to CAF, we have 50 days until the African Cup of Nations, and so we have to start preparing for the African Cup of Nations. One of my videos prior to the African Cup of Nations is that there are some 5 mistakes the Black Stars committed during our FIFA World Cup qualifiers since Coach Chris Hughton has taken over from the Black Stars coach. We've been committing certain mistakes that we shouldn't repeat at the 2023 African Cup of Nations. And that is what we are going to discuss with you in this video. Do also subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit the notification bell and select or leave your thoughts and comments below in the comment section. If you have any, it's always a pleasure to have you join us. Now, don't forget that I brought you a fantastic video about who replaces Black Stars coach Chris Hughton if he is sacked from his job after the African Cup of Nations or even before. Okay, yes, I brought you that video in my videos, and it is the one before this one. It is very, very insightful, and I hope that you check that one out and enjoy yourself over there. Now, one mistake. Okay, now don't forget that when we went to the last African Cup of Nations in Cameroon 2021, we actually couldn't make it out of the group stages. Now, in our group, 3 teams qualified from our group. A group of Morocco, Gabon, Comoros, and then Ghana. Okay, 3 teams, just 3 teams qualified from the group, and Ghana couldn't qualify. So it means that Morocco, Gabon, and Comoros qualified ahead of Ghana. Actually, Comoros beat us on the last day to qualify from the group. Ghana failed to qualify from the group. So it tells you that if you look at our last African Cup of Nations, we didn't really do well. So going into this one, we don't have to repeat what we did in the last African Cup of Nations. We actually have to qualify from the group and go as far as we can, even if we cannot win the cup. And in doing that, we have to ensure that we limit the mistakes that we do. Okay, and that's why I'm going to do this video with you. The first mistake we shouldn't do is that, look, now every team has a key player and a star player. If you go to Egypt, they have their star player in the shape of Mohammed Salah. If you go to Senegal, they have their star player in the shape of Sadio Mane. If you go to Morocco, they have the likes of Hakim Ziyech or even Ashraf Hakimi. Okay, if you go to all the teams, you can just take your time and go through each and every team, especially those teams that are coming to win the trophy. Okay, those teams who are serious about winning the trophy, they have their star player, their poster boy they will be bringing to this AFCON. Ghana, our own, is Mohammed Kudus. Whether we like it or not, our star player is Mohammed Kudus. Now, our star player, Kudus Mohammed, has played 4 games under coach Chris Hughton and hasn't performed. 4 games continuous. The 2 games we played versus USA and then Mexico, and then the 2 games in a FIFA World Cup qualifiers, Kudus Mohammed couldn't do anything in those 4 games. In fact, if you go to his club side, it will never happen that Kudus will go 4 games without even an assist or dribbles, something to talk about Kudus. It doesn't even happen like that. If he plays 3 games, he will give you something to talk about him. Okay, maybe he will give you a free kick, he will get some dribbles, he will score some number of goals. That is Kudus Mohammed. But why is he not faring under Chris Hughton? Now, if we want to reach far in the African Cup of Nations, we have to ensure that Kudus Mohammed works hard. In fact, Kudus Mohammed will have his form. If he doesn't get a good form, if he's not doing well, I bet you we cannot go far. Yes, it is very, very important. And you see, the reason why Kudus hasn't performed in those 4 games I'm talking about is how Coach Chris Hughton uses him. In fact, you can't understand how he wants to use Mohammed Kudus. Sometimes say that, look, you are number 10, but you join the attack and then play like a number 9. Let the wingers come into the midfield. Something you don't even understand. So he's just confusing the player, and the player just can't know what to do. And it is very important that we keep Mohammed Kudus informed throughout the African Cup of Nations. Each and every game, Mohammed Kudus should be firing for the Black Stars of Ghana. The second point is that, look, since Coach Chris Hughton took over, we've never won a first half. Any game we are playing, it is either we are losing the first half or we are drawing the first half. We've never won a first half. Now, if you send this team to African Cup of Nations, we will come home, because every team will strategize to beat Ghana in the first half, and they will leave the second half to you and just defend to protect their lead. And that is exactly what Comoros did in our game versus them in the FIFA World Cup. They tried their very best to beat Ghana in the first half, and in the second half they left the ball to Ghana. You play, we will come defend and protect our lead, and they will come and tell us that, oh, the second half was good, we did very well in the second half, so let's hope for the best. You are not hoping for anything. Let's ensure that in the first half we are winning games in the first half. It shouldn't be always drawing or losing the game in the first half. That is a wrong approach to games. And the reason why, another big mistake that results in us drawing or losing first half games, is because the coach Chris Hughton is always using the wrong starting 11. He's never getting a starting 11 right. That is the reason. In fact, okay, what is the reason? If that is not the reason, why is it that every second half we play better than the first half? Because in the second half, he makes changes, he brings on the right players, and they come and do better. Do you get a point? He's always getting the starting 11 wrong. So going to the AFCON, third mistake, if we keep getting the starting 11 wrong, our first half, we are going to lose them. We are not going to be able to beat teams and qualify from the group. So that's the third mistake we shouldn't do. Coach Chris Hughton should try his very best to give us the best and solid starting 11 for each game. This one too, is it too difficult to ask that as a coach going into every game, don't keep your best players on the bench. Start them. Start your best players. Start your best players. Is it too much to ask? I don't think so. Okay. Now, the fourth mistake we shouldn't do is that our strikers miss chances too much. Our strikers, they are always missing chances, and that is too much. In fact, not only the strikers, the forwards, the wingers, the strikers themselves, that is too much. In fact, if we do that in the African Cup of Nations, we will come home. We will come home, yes. So we have to ensure that, one, the coaches are giving them some fantastic training and program to ensure that they will be able to take chances, to ensure that they will be comfortable when they are taking chances. You get a point? And the strikers themselves, the likes of Antoine Semenyo, the likes of Inaki Williams, and all our other strikers should ensure that they are taking the few chances that will come their way. In fact, the coach Chris Hughton style of play, it doesn't help us to create a lot of chances. So if there are one or two chances come your way, clear cut, and you don't take them, we are going to lose the game or draw the game. So our strikers have to be taking chances. Our strikers have to be taking their chances. It is very, very, very important in the tournament, and I will be looking forward that we will not be repeating such a mistake. The fifth mistake that Black Stars shouldn't repeat if we are when we reach or when the African Cup of Nations starts is the fact that the coach Chris Hughton again should send the right squad to the African Cup of Nations. Now, if you are going to a tournament, the number of players you call, those are the players you are going to work with. Okay, it is not like you call different players for Egypt game and call different players for Mozambique game. No, it's not like that. So if you don't have your full quality players in your squad, it means that you are going to struggle throughout the tournament. And it is very, very important that Coach Chris Hughton going into the African Cup of Nations will have a quality squad all together. It is not time for players who haven't been playing, players who are not doing so well with their clubs, the likes of Edmond Ado. It is not time for Edmond Ado in the African Cup of Nations. So 5B, that is the 5A mistake. Don't do 5B mistake. He shouldn't do is that always his substitutions should be spot on. Look, when we went to the World Cup, Coach Otuado had a substitution spot on. Chris Hughton himself in some of the games he's played over, he's had a substitution spot on. The substitutions should be spot on, because this is a tournament one we want to reach far. We want to do very well. And so if he doesn't bring down such mistakes or some of these mistakes and continue to repeat them, I bet you that we are all here. You come and say that yes, indeed, Sports 7, you said it. We want to repeat those mistakes and we are coming home early. Thank you very much for staying with us and joining us for yet another fantastic video. Do want to subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit the notification bell, and select. I'll see you in the next.